In December, while factory gate deflation continues to narrow. Let's bring in Liu Zhiqin, Senior Fellow at the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies, for more on China's CPI and PPI numbers. So, Mr. Liu, China's CPI increase in 2020, if we break down those numbers, was mainly driven by a rise in food prices, up 10.6% on year, but non-food CPI up just 0.4% last year. So it seems like the demand side recovery still has a lot of runway left in 2021.
When we see that the price breakdown, we can see more details about the situation now in China. We can be very happy to look forward that a good future of our economy, especially in the consumption price index, shows that a good background and momentum for the economic development. And we know that the demand side reform in China is just at the beginning, is at the first step of its phase. When the central government announced to promote this demand side reform and stimulated such a tendency in China just 3 months. So in this way that we need some time more that will see more important role to be played and to be taken by the demand side reform. Actually, according to the situation, we see that the demand side reform has really a good shape that has already made good contribution to the whole economic stability. At the moment, we can see the food price and all other prices are still in a stable situation. That means that the turbulences has never occurred in China. So in this way that we can see that the demand side reform and will have more positive impact on the price control. At the moment, we are very optimistic that such policy will play very positive and optimistic importance to support our development.
Meanwhile, Mr. Liu, service sector CPI up 0.6% in 2020. That's 3 percentage points lower compared to consumer goods inflation. Can we expect a stronger service-led consumption rebound this year as vaccines are being rolled out?
As we know, the service sector is always an important factor in all countries, especially in China. Now the service sector has become an important driving force to support the economic development. And because the service sector in China before years that is still at a weaker situation, but nowadays is promoted and developed in a very strong momentum. So service sector, I think, will have a very great space that in China to develop. It will make greater contribution to support the whole economy. In generally speaking, we can see the service sector that in China has just started up, because at the moment we have many things to be done that to stimulate this service industry. So we have to pay more attention and also to pay more investment to support this service industry, because this is a very with great potential and with great purchasing force in China. The service sector is always has a very good reason that to support the economy now.
Let's talk about producer prices, Mr. Liu, because China's producer price deflation continues to narrow, driven by higher commodity prices. Can we expect PPI then to continue to recover as demand becomes more resilient?
I think so, that in this year that we can see that the price will be remain at a stable, and also compared to the situation last year, we are very optimistic because of the macro policy, economic policy control is very prudent, and from the monetary policy, from the state fiscal policy, that we can see the good future of this price control. At the moment, we see PPI and the CPI are under control because of the measures to be taken are very effective and also very target-oriented. So that's where we have never wasted of time, and also we have never wasted of the efforts of what we have done that to stabilize all the price. So from the CPI and the PPI, I should say that compared with each other, we can see good combination to support with each other to stabilize the overall economic development in China.
Let's talk about the medium to long term, Mr. Liu, because we know that the pandemic will leave some economic scarring that could moderate global economic activity in the years ahead. But China is aiming to become a high-income country by 2025 and to double per capita income again by 2035 from present levels. So given the scale of China's consumption market right now, it's the second largest in the world, how much will these structural trends contribute to supporting global growth going forward, do you think?
In principle, we can see that China will make a great contribution to the global economic growth. As we know that before last year, I think China is already over 25% to 30% the contribution to the global growth. But nowadays, if we see 10 years later, or 2025, even 2035, that when China become a higher income countries, we should have more greater contribution to the global economic growth. I think over 30%, over 35%, even to 44% is still possible. But of course, it will depends also for the whole situation in the global economic situation, whether all these major Western countries, they can have cooperations and open up their market, because only China itself open its market is not enough to support the global economic growth. So whole world should be united together, to be combined together, to open all the market. I think this could be achieved a target for China to make more contribution. Even as some experts say that China is trying to have more than 50% of the contribution to the global growth if this whole world can coordinate and cooperate together.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Many thanks for your thoughts on all of this, Mr. Liu Zhiqin, Senior Fellow at the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies. Thank you.